Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. This is an update on what is going on in Canada, especially in Brampton, where we've seen in the Hindu Sabha Temple a lot of things take place. Now we are seeing that three arrests of Hindus have been made. Three arrests of Hindus have been made in Surrey, and two Khalistani supporters in Brampton, and one Hindu in Brampton. So two Khalistani supporters and one Hindu has been arrested. Also, one officer has been suspended because this person was actually supposed to be keeping law and order. He didn't do that. I'll give you all that story. But more importantly, I have with me Dr. Ragini Sharma, Canadian Organization for Hindu Heritage Education. And she is going to be talking to us a little bit about how the various Hindu organizations are rallying around this so that we are all going to be together, because it's high time that we all get together and fight this cause together. Ragini ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
Namaskar, Sree. Thank you so much for having me. And
Dr. Ragini, it's a pleasure to have you on our channel. We've had once before Toronto District School Board. Remember that part, viewers? She was part of that one also. Dr. Ragini, you know what is going on. Now, what has happened today is that there was an assembly of people. Everybody got together at the Hindu Sabha Temple, and the police has been acting, what I can say is a little weird, in the sense that there was a gathering of about 1,000 to 2,000 people. Then there were some speeches, and then they were going to march. And then I'm just getting latest update that the police, Peel Regional Police, says weapons have been observed by police within the demonstration. This is now an unlawful assembly. The public order unit is advising the crowds to disperse. All parties must leave the area now or face arrest. Dr. Ragini, I can't imagine Hindus carrying weapons unless they are sure that there may be some attack on them. Look, this police has done nothing when the Khalistanis attacked. What the heck is why is a Hindu boy, 23-year-old Vikas, he has been arrested? I don't know what's going on. But tell us a little bit about this. This has to be taken head on. I have no words to say for this. Over to you, Dr. Ragini. What's happening? How do you plan on getting together and taking this thing head on?
thank you, Sree. We have to actually take it back, roll this back to yesterday. I was just scrolling on our group, one of our groups, and suddenly saw the posting. This is what's happening, and that was that video that you saw and everybody across the world has seen of that Khalistani demonstrators there who were hitting the Hindus with their flag poles and punching them. And then we also saw the barbaric behavior by the so-called police here, who instead of defending the Hindus, actually pinned down a 16-year-old. In the way that we see the police brutality. It's been just horrifying for us that the police was there to protect the Khalistani, thugs, rather than on Diwali, our sacred Diwali festival day, on a day where the consular Indian Council was doing a service to the community by, doing their paperwork for them to get their pension. That this attack happened on a Hindu Sabha. They breached the temple entrance. They, barged inside and attacked people, and police just was looking on and they were being approached by the Hindus and saying, look at this, I'm showing you a video, I've been hit, here's my bruises, look at my back. You could see the marks on the back, and they're just standing there with folded hands, and well, we'll have to wait to see the video. So it was a deplorable thing. They were very, very brave and strong people. I have to take the name of Rinal Patel. She is in the video pointing out to the police officer who walked over unprovoked, and three of them, descended on this young person. On the other side, the Khalistanis were getting a free ride in doing this nonsense and terrorizing us. And in fact, like you mentioned, one of the demonstrators was a police officer. So, the Khalistani ideology has, infiltrated the police department. As MP Chandra Arya mentioned, it is completely shameful. And importantly, I tweeted about this immediately, that the Hindu Federation, which is representing some big temples like BAPS and all of them, about 30 temples, they had actually on October 30th sent a letter to the police department saying that please have increased security at all the temples because it's Diwali over this weekend and we expect a lot of crowds. But they didn't. They didn't do that. There were only 2 cars when there was a whole gang of these thugs, and they were allowed to park themselves adjacent to the temple. We all know across the world that when there is a demonstration, first of all, you have to get a permit. They wouldn't answer the question whether they had a permit. And then they're supposed to stand on the other side of the road. You're never allowed to stand in front of the temple or any other. We know that there's a police barrier. You are positioned on the up. And this was going on for 3 to 4 hours before they actually did anything. And then they tweeted, oh, we're there in big numbers. No, you weren't there. People were desperate. People were being attacked. You did nothing because you said we don't have enough people. There are videos of police officers saying we can't do anything because we don't have enough backup. So this is what unfolded. Unfortunately, the Hindu community there has been traumatized on their important Diwali weekend where people would be. Our whole, day and weekend has been consumed with dealing with this horrific event of violence being tolerated by the police right in front of our eyes. We have such difficulty understanding how this has happened. And so in the evening at 6 o'clock, after the Khalistanis had left, there was a community meeting. There was a discussion with the community leaders because after a while, everybody showed up at the temple because the word was out that they should come because as one of the videos I showed you, the woman, Rinal Patel said, is that we're just 4 or 5 of them and there's a whole gang of them. So they began to appeal. The temple didn't have security. The police didn't comply with the request. And they allowed these Khalistanis, and they were like, chanting, "Who killed Nijjar, Indian government," something like that. They kept on. It was just, terrible to hear them disrupting our Diwali festival, and then at 6 o'clock they had the community leaders go there for a meeting, and notice was posted. The group that met sent a letter, posted a message saying that this has been disgraceful. What has happened to our temple here, and it should never have happened. We're deeply disturbed, and they said that they will not allow any politician to come into the temple and use it as a platform for their propaganda, because clearly not a single politician, of course leaving out Chandra Arya and Kevin Wong, they have been consistent, but neither Justin Trudeau nor Patrick Brown nor Pierre Poilievre, of course we can't expect anything from 𝙥𝙤𝙤𝙁, not a single Melissa Landsman, none of these big politicians had the guts to use the word Khalistani. None of them. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So they're still in that mode of appeasement, vote bank. They don't care how the Hindus are being terrorized in this way and beaten, and their temple area being barged into. They don't care. So we're deeply shocked. I mean, this is a completely un-Canadian. This is not acceptable from any angle, because it was completely unnecessary, because we had nothing to do with the Indian government. We are Canadians, right? We live here. My children are born here. There's a whole generation who has nothing to do. There's Hindus do not come only from India. Canadian Hindus come from all parts of the world. And, to equate the Hindus with the Indian government and to ruin our Diwali festival and attack Hindu temples. This is probably the 15th temple that has been attacked. So this is a pattern. This is not something new or one-off case. This is a pattern, and these politicians are cowardly in their not uh, addressing the issue of Hindu phobia, of attack on Hindu temples and Hindus. So we have reached. I tweeted just this a few hours ago that the Canadian Hindus are fed up, and they will take it. They will not take it anymore. We have to do everything we can. Bring our community together. We cannot let this happen again. This is not acceptable.
Thank you, Dr. Ragini. And I know you have to leave soon, and I'll just ask you a simple question. Now, in terms of keeping the heat on, for example, what has happened is that we saw, by the way, those are not Flagstaff poles. Those are poles, they are actually designed to maim and attack you. They had very sharp edges too. I mean, if you direct it at the right part of the body, you can actually kill with that.
And these are hatta kutta. These are people who are wielding these. They're tough guys. Oh, did you ask me, Sree, the question about what happened tonight? So after the horrific events of yesterday, there was a call to action. We were listening to what the different people were saying. We heard about the arrest of the 3 people. We heard about one police officer being suspended, and basically the police department being infiltrated by the Khalistani ideology. And there was a call that I think people across Ontario, Canada, it happened in Surrey also, as you know,
yes,
very upset. So
three Hindus were arrested there. Three Hindus were arrested. None of the case. These are all Canadian thugs. None of them were arrested. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So today they had a demonstration at 6 o'clock. We are in Toronto, so it gets dark at 6. So they did meet, and they had a procession. There was, I hear, about 15 to 2,000 people. I've spoken to, Kohi volunteers who were there, and got a report back that there were about 15 to 2,000 people, and they were marching. They were chanting Jai Shri Ram. They were chanting, Gayatri Mantra. At one point, they did chant, Khalistan Murdabad. And at one point, I heard they also chanted Peel Police Murdabad out of their frustration with how the police has handled this safety issue for Hindus, and making them unsafe to go to temples. I have parents. It's Hindu Heritage Month, November.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've had parents write to me and saying, I'm scared to go into the school and talk about Hindu heritage because there's so much backlash against the Hindus. I mean, this is something that has deeply wounded the community and scared the community. I mean, we're not easily scared. But the point is that there is attempts to intimidate us. So we did need to go out and march. They did, about 2 hours of march, and there is a group coming together. If there is to be a silver lining to this, is that the Hindu community is uniting, which is something that we need to do, to put our heads together and say, we need to be united and address this. Like you said in the beginning, this is not acceptable. we have to have a long-term plan about how we address this on a systemic way. Hindu phobia is very deeply rooted in Canadian society, and we have been trying to, we did the House of Commons petition, which you know about, and simple things are happening. I just wrote a letter today to the Durham District School Board, because while Peel District School Board and Toronto District School Board wished us for Diwali and for Hindu Heritage Month, here's a board that didn't have couldn't care less. So in fact, outward clearly dissing our community and by posting a link for November. There's a tweet which says, here's the link to significant days in November. I mean, you open the link, there's only one, which is Hindu Heritage Month. So in effect, they could have just said, Happy Hindu Heritage Month, or the Durham District School Board celebrates Hindu Heritage Month in November. They had to just put a link. So you can see how insidious the Hindu phobia is. I mean, it's just mind-blowing that a school board, imagine who is in their DEI department. How is this infiltrated by people who just cannot bear to even wish us a Happy Hindu Heritage Month, or just say this is Hindu Heritage Month? So, we are looking at the depth of the Hindu phobia in Canadian society, and we need to deal with it on police level, school board level, city level. All the caste motions they passed at Brampton. I mean, these are breeding grounds of Hindu phobia. We have a huge job, but again, we have to systematically take one thing at a time. And this arrest, this incident must be properly documented. We need to take the legal, political, human rights complaints to various bodies. We have to get our head together and discuss this. Lots more is coming. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ragini, and we'll have you back. As soon as you have some information, please get in touch with me. We'll have you back. Today, we decided that we are going to bring Dr. Ragini live about an hour ago, and she was very, very considerate to give her time. You have more shows to do today, Dr. Ragini, and tomorrow early in the morning. So good luck to you, and viewers, stay tuned. I have some more information. Thank you, Dr. Ragini.
Thank you. Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Sri Ram. So I have more information for you. Stay on, viewers, and I have a couple of videos to share with you. First of all, one video about what really played out in today's talk, and I'm just going to give a small ad because I have to pull another video from my phone into the setup here. So I'm just going to first play one video, and then afterwards I'll play an ad. After that, I'll give you more information. Here we go.
Get out of the stage. Please get out of the stage. So what do I have to do here?
This is the same Hindu Sabha Temple. Here we go. One moment. And I'm going to just play one ad, and then I'll be back again. Just 1 second. Well, that was an ad. Thank you so much. And I have one more video to share with you. It is on its way to my computer and I'll load it up in just one moment. But I want to answer a couple of questions. The election coverage starts in about 24 hours from now. We are voting tomorrow. Tuesday is when United States votes. And see, there are 4 time zones in the United States. The West Coast closes, I think, around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I'm not 100% sure. That would be 5:30 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. India time. Let us say that around 7 a.m. India time, Wednesday, we will be going live on PGurus and we'll start covering the trends, because from the East Coast, you'll start getting the trends. I will have Dr. Sree Iyer App IOS with me and a few other guests. So that's what's going to happen in 24 hours from now. Now we are still on this topic. Just give me 1 second here and I have to take care of one more thing here. Just 1 second. Here we go. I am just downloading it. This is Renal Patel. This is a conversation with her. And let me just load this up. Bear with me for a moment while I clean up something here. Just 1 second.
तो यहाँ पर इंडियन कंसुलेट की ओर से लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट, जो ओल्ड पीपल होते हैं जो जिंदा है कि नहीं, वो लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट यहाँ देना था रिटायरमेंट लोगों का। तो मेरी ड्यूटी लगी थी। जब मैं आई 12 बजे, तो यहाँ पर 4 बंदे हमारे प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे। खालिस्तानी बहुत ज्यादा आगे हुए।
कितने बजे? करीब 12 बजे।
12 बजे जब मैं आई तो वो लोग 11 बजे से आगे हुए।
वो 11 बजे से आ चुके थे।
वो 11 बजे से आ चुके थे। जब मैंने देखा कि ये लोग बहुत ज्यादा आगे हुए हैं और हम सिर्फ 4 लोग हैं, तो मैंने 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝘆 जी को फोन किया कि भाई हमें और बंदे चाहिए, हमारे आ जाए। मैनेजमेंट की ओर से हमें कोई नहीं, वो तो प्रोटेक्शन नहीं मिल रहा था, सपोर्ट नहीं मिला। तो मैंने जब आज़ाद जी को फ़ोन किया, 2-4 और ये इनको फ़ोन किया, 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆 भाई नाम है इनका। तो ये सारे, ये मेरे हस्बैंड है 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆 भाई, ये सारे अपना काम छोड़ के यहाँ पर आ गए प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए। और फिर हम लोगों ने प्रोटेस्ट किया, पीसफुली प्रोटेस्ट किया, पर उन्होंने हमारे पे लाठी चार्ज किया खालिस्तानी लोगों ने। मेरे पास सारी वीडियो है, हमें भागना पड़ा वहाँ से, मुझे भी मारा उन्होंने।
आपको चोट लगी?
मुझे चोट लगी। तो मैं वहाँ से, हम लोग भाग के आ गए थे अंदर मंदिर में, बट पुलिस वाले हमारे साथ ऐसे बिहेव कर रहे थे जैसे हम लोगों ने उन लोगों को मारा है। हमें मारा, बहुत मारा। 2-3 पुलिस वाले थे, उन्होंने हमें लाठी से मारा। पुलिस वालों ने लाठी से हमें मारा। मेरे पास वीडियो है जी। पुलिस वालों ने हमें लाठी से मारा। वो हमें ऐसे ट्रीट कर रहे थे जैसे हम 2nd क्लास सिटीजन हैं। बहुत गंदे से। इट्स बायस्ड पुलिस एवर इन कनाडा आई हैव सीन इन माय लाइफ। बायस्ड पुलिस, बहुत गंदे से हिंदुओं के साथ बिहेव किया।
तो वो जो खालिस्तानी जो अटैक कर रहे थे, उनको कुछ नहीं बोला उन्होंने? कुछ
भी नहीं बोल रहे थे। हम बार-बार, और दूसरी बात, चलो आ भी गए वो लोग, हम बार-बार उनको आराम से कह रहे थे कि आप लोग, पुलिस वालों को कह रही थी, आप लोग उनको बोलो कि चले जाए। वो बोलते नहीं, हम नहीं कह सकते। चलो नहीं कह सकते, मेरे पास वीडियो है कि उन्होंने हमें मारा है। वो सारे अभी यहाँ पर खड़े हैं, आप कुछ तो एक्शन लो। बोलते हम एक्शन नहीं, हम पहले तहकीकात करेंगे फिर एक्शन लें। ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है, आपके पास वीडियो है, लोग सामने खड़े, फिर भी वो लोग उन्हें अरेस्ट नहीं कर रहे थे, एंड तक अरेस्ट नहीं किया उन्होंने, क्योंकि वो पैसों वाले लोग थे, पैसों के लिए वो लोग प्रोटेस्ट करने आए थे, $50 वाले वो लोग थे। जब उनका टाइम खत्म हो गया, फिर वो चले गए, तब जाके हम लोग वापस आए। पूरे 4 घंटे हमें प्रोटेस्ट करना पड़ा।
जी, आप हिंदू सभा मंदिर में वॉलंटियर हैं?
हाँ जी।
ओके, तो यहाँ पे जब उन लोगों ने पत्थर वगैरह भी फेंके और क्या जो खालिस्तानी,
उन्होंने हमारे ऊपर पानी की बोतलें बहुत फेंकी, और तो मेरे सर पे भी एक बार लगी थी।
जी,
तो वीडियो डालोगे फेसबुक पे आप? हम डालेंगे।
दैट्स माइन। या ये वीडियो है हमारे पास।
आपका शुभ नाम?
मेरा नाम रीनल पटेल है।
रीनल पटेल जी। ओके, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हिंदी टाइम से बात करने के लिए। हम लोग इस खबर को
देखिए,
जारी
ये आपने वीडियो तो लिया है
जी,
बट इसको प्लीज आगे लेके जाएं।
बिल्कुल
और कुछ करें ताकि ये बार-बार ना होता रहे।
जी, बिल्कुल। आप मुझे मेरा नंबर नोट कर लीजिए, मुझे भेज दीजिए। हाँ, हिंदी 416 भेज दीजिए।
Okay, so you got the gist of the thing, and Renal was an eyewitness to what happened in Hindu Sabha Temple in Brampton. The city of Peel, the police commissioner is actually a Sri Lankan Canadian. His name is Nishant 𝗤𝗲𝙗𝘍 or something like that. And I'm hoping that he understands the sensitivity of the situation, because it doesn't look like he has really understood the sensitivity of the situation. I mean, I can understand it if it's like a Canadian white person who has to be schooled in some of these things. You should know better. And when they asked you for help to police, in fact, you should know, you should have put double the strength of what they asked, because this whole thing originated from a call by a two-bit thug, which goes by the name of Pannun. Two-bit thug. I have no reservations in calling him what he is. This guy is a fraud, a cheat. He has cheated many Sikhs out of money, promising them immigration, and he doesn't have any chops. In fact, I'm told that he lost his practice license also, license to practice as a lawyer too. See, all this thing, it doesn't matter. If people got lost, they should have checked before they went to this guy. But this guy is a two-bit thug. Who is he to tell that Indian Canadians must leave Canada? Who is he? He's a no-gooder. And this guy now is being backed by a lot of drug money. In fact, in the morning, I put out a drug bust, one of the biggest drug busts that took place in Canada. It's called a super lab, and it's got this Khalistani footprint written all over it. Unfortunately, it is in the state of British Columbia, where the NDP, the 𝙥𝙤𝙤𝙀 party, most likely is going to come back to power. It was in power, elections just took place. I don't think the new government is in place, but you also saw the brutality of the 𝗤𝙗𝙗 police. 𝗤𝙗𝙗 is the temple in, I think it's called Lakshmi Narayan Temple in 𝗤𝙗𝙗 in British Columbia. The police there has been far more brutal than the police here. I'm not making any excuses here. 3 Hindus have been arrested there too. I mean, what happened to all the Khalistanis? They had this huge float, and they were calling Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, the Ambassador, all kinds of names. Okay, these people think that watchers don't understand what they are talking about. You know, gali to gali hota hai bhai, whether it is Punjabi or Hindi or whatever. We understand what you are trying to say. In fact, anyway, let's just take a quick look at a slide deck that I have done quickly to give you the actual facts of the people who have been arrested. I don't have the details of the names of the people from British Columbia. All I know is 3 Hindus were arrested there, but I do have the details as far as Brampton is concerned. So the update I have is that this police officer, Sergeant 𝗤𝙗𝙗𝙁 𝗖𝙗𝙗, he was actually part of the Khalistani attack on Hindu worshippers, the one that Reenalji just mentioned too. And he has been put on suspended. He has been suspended for now. I mean, they need to be upfront with it. This is just one person. There were other people who are manhandling, and I don't know if that is in 𝗤𝙗𝙗 or in Toronto, in Brampton. Remember, viewers, 𝗤𝙗𝙗 is West Coast, British Columbia, and this is all in this in the state of Ontario. That's where Toronto is, and Brampton is a suburb of Toronto, and I think Peel is a small city just off of Brampton. So you're trying to narrow it down. The police chief of Peel is a Sri Lankan Canadian. Okay, so now this is the list of people who have been arrested at Brampton, and there is one person in Mississauga who has also been arrested. That person's name is Amritpal Singh, 31 years old. Vikas, 23-year-old Hindu, has been arrested in Brampton, and Dilpreet Singh Buns, a 43-year-old man from Mississauga, also has been charged with it. So these are the people who have been charged thus far. And I expect that a lot more arrests should take place. And if the police department does its job, I fully expect them to put in a lot of people. And the politicians of Canada, shame on you. Conservative, liberal, NDP, whoever it is. If you don't have the testicular gravitas, look it up on the dictionary. If you don't have the testicular gravitas to name the perpetrators and what cause they belong to, then you have no right to run this country. I'm sorry to say this. A leader has to stand up. If the people make a mistake, you got to have that backbone and the guts to tell them you did something wrong. You do the crime, you do the time. That is how the West was created, after you killed off all the natives. Let that thing sink in. So this is where things are standing right now. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. Let me see if there's any questions here. I'm doing it all by my own, guys. So I'm sorry if I'm looking a little, frazzled here. A lot of comments. People are angry. Remember one thing. Batenge to katenge. And this is not just for our generation. It's also for our children and our grandchildren. And if we don't stand up, if we don't evolve a system whereby the response is disproportionate or even proportionate, it doesn't matter, but it is swift, and it is done in such a way that these lumpens that go by the name of politicians have no option but to act. I mean, there will be other escalations. If they don't act, other things will happen. There is no reason for a KS thug to take on the Hindus of Canada. They have every right to exist there. They are citizens of Canada. They pay their taxes. They obey the laws, and they are not like you. Half of you are unpad thugs on top of that. Josh hai, hosh nahi hai tumko. Tomorrow all these politicians will disown you and throw you in jail. I'm telling you. Bhatak gaye sab. Hosh mein aao. Anyway, so this, because I know some of them watch it. And also another request to the Sikhs of Canada, please understand, you will suffer some backlash if you don't speak up for what is right. And what is right here is nobody deserved to be hurt the way they did. Because tomorrow you will be suffering it in a Gurdwara because they may not want you to do something. This is just basically, thuggery. Thuggery is nothing else. The biggest thug of all these things is a Pannun, puny clown. And you have to stand up. There were many of you who were beaten into submission. I know that. I'm very sorry about that. Many moderate Sikh leaders have been beaten into submission by these NDP goons, whose chief goon is that 𝙥𝙤𝙣. And I still don't understand. Sikhs constitute only 6% of British Columbia population. Why did you guys vote this NDP back? Didn't they deserve to be reprimanded? Why did you vote them back? I just don't understand Canadian politics. Sometimes you have to, deal them a rap on the knuckles. And that has not happened. Unfortunately, I would not be surprised if the same Green Party will go back and join up with the NDP and keep the Conservatives out. But at least the Conservatives should see sense here. 𝗣𝗬𝗍 should have named the Khalistanis. What is there not to name? Those guys were having that stupid yellow flag. Come on now, you have to show some gumption. I just don't understand how these are minuscule votes, 2% votes in the state of Ontario. Everywhere else there are 10s and 20s. Only 2 states they have some numbers. That's it. Canada is a very sparsely populated country. Canadians, you guys are letting these people take you to dogs. They have now infiltrated the country with drugs. God save you. If you don't stand up and act today, you are doomed. Your future is also doomed. This is going to be crossfire here, and unfortunately, a lot of innocent people are going to get hurt. I'm sorry to say this thing. Let me see if there are any questions here. Raja, this is not on. You cannot tell somebody just like that to leave their jobs and then come home to India. Why? Why should they do it? This is just not on. Many of them have put down roots. They may have businesses. They may own a lot of land, property. Why should they have to go back? They are fully within their rights to demand justice, and they will demand justice. This is not going anywhere. Trust me, I'm telling you. This is where the moderate Sikh has to make his voice heard. Otherwise, he will be a collateral damage. I'm telling you. I've seen this happen in India. I've seen this happen elsewhere, and it's going to happen in Canada unless they start speaking up and they start, turning. By the way, this intelligence service knows all these crooks, every one of them. In 24 hours, they can put them all in jail. A lot of nonsensical comments are coming here. I'm sorry, I can't really put them up on the screen also. This is all, I'm sorry, it's a waste of time for all of us, guys. I'm just going to wrap up here. I just thought that they are going around saying, oh, okay. France Ewell says, Iyer, Khalistanis are going around saying Hindus started this. Can you speak on this? Video evidence and the fact Pannun ordered this seems like the Khalistanis started it. France, I have done 3 or 4 videos already. Please subscribe to PGurus channel under YouTube and look at last 2 days I've done 3. This is the 4th video I'm doing, okay? And this is the 4th video on this particular attack. We have copious amount of video evidence of what happened. And this is not a joke. These people did not want the elderly Sikhs to come and have proof of life certificates issued by the Consulate of India. See, in the month of November, if you are drawing pensions, for example, if you have been in service in India, if you're drawing pensions, then you need to provide what is called as proof of life certificate in order for your pensions to continue. So about 1,000 such certificates were issued yesterday, and these people wanted to disrupt that. And I have, again, take a look at my videos. I can't bring back these videos and play them here. They show the assemblage consisted of many Sikhs who have worked. They have served in the army. They've served in the Indian government, postal service, various sectors. Indian government is a big employer. And for them, they need that proof of life certificate. If you don't do that, you don't get pension. So they were doing that. And this was purely voluntary driven. You saw Reenal Patel give the, of course, she spoke in Hindi, but basically she was a volunteer there. And she said how these people unprovokedly came and attacked. And that video is there for all of you to see. The reason they attacked was because somebody was taking a videotape of what these guys were uttering. Look, these are thugs. Unpad, the uneducated thugs, illiterate thugs. Somehow they've managed to catch a boat and land in Canada. And your embassy in Chandigarh was doing a lot of these kinds of things. That's why Indian government closed it down. I have no sympathy for the way Canada has acted on this. Clean house first and send all these thugs back to India. They belong to a prison. Better still, put them in a prison in Canada and throw away the key. Yes, I told you there are not that many. There are not that many Sikhs. Hindus are a much bigger number. It is just that we believe in the law of the land. We believe that the law and order will protect us. That's where the thing is being tested sorely. Rohan Deshpande, if any of the Sikhs said that we are verbally saying we condemn it, please come connect them with me, and I'll be happy to bring them on PGurus channel and let them say it out loudly. देखो, these are all namunas. राज करेगा खालसा, तू जेल भरेगा. Okay, lots of comments. People are very, very angry. I'm sorry. There are no questions as such. I would have loved to answer some questions. I've been online for 39, 40 minutes. Okay, here we go. Dan Dave wants to know. Thank you, Dan. People need to chill out. Khalistanis want more Sikhs than Hindus in Canada, and they have asylum as a way to get it. Hindus immigrate legally. No, I think all that stuff is stopped now. Dan, you saw the new regulations, right? Most of the federal bodies that were doing all this, they've stopped it. In fact, the students are in a huge limbo right now. Those who are stuck in Canada, next year's admissions are way down, way down. I would not be surprised if India stops sending any of its students to Canada, and because all they need to do is India needs to put one regulation in place. Those who are asking the Reserve Bank of India for US dollar loans, they can just ask, what university are you going to, which country, and if they say Canada, just don't give them the money. Sometimes you have to make the decision for them. Canada is a disturbed country. Don't let them go. So this can be completely turned off like a tap. And this is a $15 billion industry per year. $15 billion. We did that math. I have a separate program that I did that. So this is going to ruin Canada. But if you ask for it, you get it. Okay, sorry guys, there are lots of comments here today. I can't see everything. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. I'll be back again as soon as I have more updates. Thanks once again. I'll see you in the evening. Namaskar.